Okay, so we're back. I have probably until 5 to cut some stuff here, and let's see how it goes. So I'm facing a small issue here. So I'm gonna say here because it is expecting to repeat stuff here, and I have to do a small dump question here, or let me see what can I do here. This because this apparently needs to filter the options that I need for if it is if the CPT code is type CPT. It only happens if it is CPT. Okay. But then I go params going into options. If params options. What what is going on here, params? So it is not telling what it is. Code description and type. So I had to tell that the type has to be CPT. Okay. So I'm gonna say here params dot type is equals to CPT, and oh, hold on, I need to go back. Okay. Params dot option params dot type is equals to CPT, and params options length. Now params options contains values. Okay, so I had to find out what happened here. Oh, param options length. So options is expecting values to be an array. So let's find out what is going on here. Oh wait, what? It's an iterably iterator. So it is not recognizing this as a proper array. So let me blow this away. Hmm? Why is it not no? Ah, why is not block commenting? Okay, it's Control Shift slash. Okay. Options and then options length. Oh, I'm gonna say here. Where's no values got options dot what? Oh, oh, I see. So options dot map. Okay, I got this now. Now, item has a key, and item has type Oh no, what is doing this? No, wait. This I'm receiving a CPT code option. Ugh. And who's saying in the CPT codes? Is oh, this is for the schema. The option of the schema. It could be oh, specific code option. Oh, um, yeah. The options are an array of options that could be a type and a value. And CPT code option value is what? Oh yeah, but is CTP code option an object? No, it's just the object itself. Yes. So it's just one type of option. So that simplifies what I have here. Values. Now we are matching everything here. Now that makes more sense. Because if I take out this down, I cannot take it out because I'm expecting to be a CPT code. Oh, the response does that the job too? Yes. Yes. So it's super good for that. So what I'm doing is through SOD, I do parsing. So this is the advantage of SOD. You can define your schema of whatever you want, and later on you can export the types from differentials of those schema, which is super damn useful. So I don't need to create the rules because Zod is gonna evaluate automatically everything for me, except when I feed data or I receive data from the application. So that's the reason I try to experiment today with Zod. Has been long I don't touch it, but it proves worth to be used. Yeah, if you have a backend, so that does for you too. So what I'm having here now that you're talking about backend, it's a good thing that you touch it because I want to show you that. Okay, let me save my hooks because this hook is not on service yet. But if I go into my main process and I go here in my IPC API, I can take out from the schema I have here and import it here. So if I receive an object that goes to my backend, let's say this is the backend, I can start to process that and do the needed code. For example, this is I'm getting, but eventually I'm gonna set that because in the data store, What is my DB? In my DB, when let's say like I'm in a new technician, this this piece of block code. Let me magnify it. I'm passing a technician. Let's say like I'm gonna save something. I am passing something to this. Okay. So if this ever throws me an exception, I'm gonna try to process it. If it throws me an exception, I'm just gonna tell, hey, this data doesn't match, fix it, or do something about that. But pretty much by using parse against the desired schema, that is the technician itself, I can tell what is the feature ID if I need it, first name, last name, and password. Pretty much that's it. And when I go in for the type, I can use technician schema. See, the type is right there. Isn't that cool? it, I think I had to master Zod very well. I'm starting to like it now in this pet project. But you see, this is getting interesting the minute. So imagine applying that to an Angular project. It's gonna make it exceptionally safe. Yeah, and the good thing is that you don't need to write too much tests for the data because Zod is there validating information. So, or you expect that the data you are passing doesn't throw an exception? Ah, no. Actually, no. It doesn't. Well, it does a bit of overhead if we go into the, because I needed to define a schema. How can I wanna save this information and how it's gonna be connected? I define these schemas from relational data. I don't have a relational database. I cannot ship that. I cannot ship inside of Electron MySQL. I cannot do that. So what I did is, let's go over there. Just let me cook for a bit. Let me cook for a bit because I have to explain you, Mateo. So if I don't have this when I connect to my database, what is the constructor? Blah. Yeah, this part. This part of the code is what you are expecting to receive for the default data for a specific LowDB database. So if I'm passing in this specific file a certain shape for the, let's say, the list of technicians, is going to be stored in this file. And by having this, it's going to allow me so that when I start to save data, it saves the data in the same shape I am expecting to output this inside of the data store. But the overhead is for validation. It's not for defining type data. The validation is needed. Definitely is needed. But because I am validating the shape of my schema, I can create the type right away from it. And I have the types. I don't need to define something. And on top of that, when I'm working into the APIs, let's say like you are working in an API. If you send data, you can use Sod based on your schema of what you're expecting to receive and validate the information that you're receiving because you are using, let's go over here. You're using the infer. Where I put the infer? This is over here. Yes. Oh, the parse. You're using parse. And if you're passing parse, if there is something like a CPT code doesn't match certain patterns inside of this value, it's going to throw you an error. So I'm trying to make it as safe as possible. So when I go back end and front end, I have the right definitions. And that's gonna, believe me, it's gonna save me headaches. Because now that I'm talking about headaches, look at this. Now I already fixed my CPT code. Because before I was having this by type. But the type is not really asserting too much or is going to validate me something. I'm expecting that backend is gonna return me a parse object from Sod. Looks good to be sure of the data I send to the backend, but if the API extends new fields, I need to allow them in the new schema. Yeah, pretty much. Let's say it just happened to me now. What is that? Yeah, options. So let's say like if you have your report for the usage of your medical equipment, and you have like codes for what kind of tests did you do. So some of those are literally this was supposed not to be an object, because this object is gonna tell you what is the type, and I'm expecting a check. Okay, now I wanna say here z literal. Uh, oh, I had to do a discern object, so I'm expecting z literal checkbox or I'm gonna do the comparison, but I guess it was around here. Yeah, Z union. It's gonna be Z union, and I'm expecting to have a Z string. Excuse me. Z literal. Yes, I need Z literals, and this literal is checkbox, or Z literal. I'm gonna say here radio. Okay. So by telling, okay, you are expecting an union or type checkbox and literal. So when I go back into the type definition, I know you're going to extend things. And this is the schema. So now the schema, when you go into the type definition later on, CPT code option is going to tell you the type. Just let me see, what is it? Ah, yeah. You see it here? Type. It's checkbox and radio. Voila. There, there is no escape from that. The type is being defined right away when you infer this information. That it takes a bit for TypeScript to read over source and returns the inferred value of the schema. Fine, but look, it is quite convenient. And it's gonna cascade down all over the place where I needed to validate that. So that's a cool thing. And the good thing, once I fix my project, because not this project, the main library that I'm using for nx-electron-vite, right now I'm just injecting two things into one, and it is causing me my front end to have some issues. So I have to look into how to allow one type to be shared across front end and back end. So right now I have two sub definitions. The next fix is to ensure that it's gonna read only one, and there you have it. It's not gonna be that complicated, but this saves tons of time. Oh, okay. I don't want to block backend deployments when they add fields. Schema parse want. Okay, so yeah, of course you don't want to block those, but you have to ask yourself in which scenario Zod is really effective. Is Zod a middle library that is gonna create schemas to read from the backend and be applying on the front end? If that's the case, just go ahead. But let's say like you're using a Spring Boot, it's gonna be a bit even more complicated, because this is TypeScript and Spring Boot is Java. So you can apply those to apply that based on contracts that you have to check with the backend guy, and based on those rules, you create those. So I guess the rule of thumb, if you cannot have, let's say like if you have Next.js, totally fine. You define yourself in the same code base. or if you're having an Express or another TypeScript backend library like Fastify, for example, you can use Fastify with SOD and you can cross share frontend and backend with this. Cool. But if you don't want to block backend, but in order for you to deploy efficient code, you have to read the contracts that you have between backend and frontend and match those. There is no the nature of this project allows me to do that because my backend is literally not JS. But if I was using something different, this only will work for my frontend. Which is, but don't take me wrong, this is useful as it is because I have to parse the information evaluated that what I'm going to send to the backend works. So this works good in a bidirectional way. I'm going to send information that the frontend can process properly, and the front end is going to process the information to properly be safe on the backend. In this context, this code that I have here works very well. And I can extend it as much as I need it because at the end of the day, I am the backend and front end developer and I know the needs. So if you know what you are trying to pass, totally fine. Okay, so now that I've finished this part down here, I'm gonna fix this tsconfig later on. No, so now I can go with this away. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for hanging around, Mateo. So let's go now. We were working on hooks. Where is my hook? So for me to avoid killing myself trying to build a gigantic piece of component, thing that I really don't want, I have this front part that is my front-end code, and I'm gonna just make this component to be a dump component that, depending on when you're passing the register patient, it could be just an ingestion form or a display form. I don't want to reduce the whole thing, but I really just I want to avoid duplicating code, and nothing better than that creating a hook for this. So that's the reason I see CPT code, save CPT code. This is something that I have to work now. Save patient info, get patient info, set patient info, get intake, save intake, and so on. So I'm going to start to make sure that the state of the intake is properly. Oh, yeah. Almost forgot. Intake form state. This is gonna be probably some null object for the moment, because this intake form is gonna fill. If I had to display data into this one, let's say like I just want to display a specific intake from a patient from a certain technician 3 days ago, I can return it easily, and the intake form state is gonna just print that based on let's say a const intake form set intake form data. Actually, it has to be like that. Set intake form data is going to be use state, and now I have to set up the type for this, and I'm going to say this as an empty object. So I'm going to say here intake form schema. Yep. Boom. And what is expecting? Oh yeah, because it's expecting as intake. Yeah. So just to avoid, I need to have an empty object for the moment, but this is gonna work as a default. So later on, I'm gonna probably set up an initializer that can help you that to generate the initial data. But if I don't have anything to come with something, I can just take the intake form data and pass it to the front end application if needed. Okay, So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, so let's start to figure out the stuff. Get consecutive number. And I have a calculation for that. So I have, let me see my PC main. I have a function for that. Oh no, let's, oh, so the schema generate mock. I think it would be nice. I wonder. Well, but you cannot generate a mock schema for testing. Could be fine. But you are testing information right here. You could, when you are doing tests of this, what you could do is if you are expecting that the function throw an error because there is wrong data parsed, or you are expecting that the data you provide renders properly. So you throw an exception or it renders properly. I'm cooking here. One moment. I believe my room is over 80 right now. it's, it's too hot, my room. Okay, so let's start by recording. Let's start to generate the initial window. So the initial window of intake. Okay, so we need a general state of the application. So probably a context may gonna work here. So let me see what is the patient forms. Okay. Let's save this. Okay. Now I have to make the call. So I was explaining before. If you go over this schema that I wrote before, so you define your main process, your backend API lives there, executing in the main process, but you have to tell the context bridge to be available for the window process in the render process. So Electron hosts these two things, but this one makes the bridge. Or 80. This is gonna. I believe that I am probably like a 26. Yeah, like a 27, 28 degrees inside of this room. I had to buy a thermometer inside, so I know how this room becomes when I'm here coding. This my room becomes very hot. So I had to turn on the aircon. I have, you don't see it. You see what I'm tapping something here that you cannot see, but this is my fan, a standing fan. And that's what makes me company here when it's too hot. So I have my aircon plus this fan. So pretty much it's freaking hot my room. Okay, so let's go back. So now that we have this here, we have to calculate list intake by date, record intake, gate intake form. Oh, let's register a technician. Oof, okay. So I'm gonna say here const response await. So now we have to go to the data store. And now I have to calculate consecutive billing sheet. No, but it is to register. Add new technician. So these technicians is having a password that I have to hash. So I'm gonna say here, this is the parse data of new technician. If it passed properly, it's gonna render fine. I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna say here, new technician password. Now I have to import something from MD5. No, not MD5. Like a SHA-256. Crypto. Let me import something from crypto. Import crypto from crypto. And here I'm gonna encode crypto dot create hash and create the hash of what I'm passing. Oh, okay. So hash create hash. I have create hash. What? Hash. Okay, I may have to find out. Yeah, create hash to 156, and I am passing this. Oh, yeah, I'm passing this. Of course, it's gonna slap me in the face. String has no property in common type has options. What? Oh, okay, so have options. Oops. Gonna say here. Oh, gonna say here. Excuse me. I have to solve the string. Okay. Hash const hash is equals to with hash. Oh, I didn't read all the crypto. Cipher. Let's read cipher. Oh, so this is to generate a password. Ah, I see. Not to object streams. So let me read this example because I'm not very familiar with this. I have to copy this code and understand what it does. Okay. So if what is the password being passed? We're using a new random vector once we have it. Once we have the key and the IV, we can generate it. Hmm. But it should be something more simpler. I know that I can use crypto, but this is way too much. I mean, I'm not against that. You know what? I'm just gonna now I understand how this works. I may probably just implement it. Okay, so I'm gonna say here. So I'm just going to read information inside of the encryption. So I'm gonna say here crypto.script. Provide the synchronous execution the source should blah 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 the price for this and then return the buffer. Okay. Oh. Oh. So this is as simple as this. Just as this. And then this one. Simple as this. I'm gonna say here what? I did I read properly? This is crypto dot script sync. Ah, yeah. A custom end parameter must be power of 2. Okay, since I'm insulting it, I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I wonder what is gonna create here. So I'm gonna say here script sync is gonna be when I log in with the password, I'm gonna figure out the comparison. Script sync. So it's gonna be new technician. New technician dot password. And it's gonna sort it. And now the new password is gonna be Q1. Technician dot password is equals to Q1. There you go. But this is gonna be a buffer. Oh. So if this is a buffer, I had to convert it to string. To string hex. There you go. So there you go. Now we have the password, and the only thing that we need to do is to do the same procedure and compare it. Okay. I'm gonna say here probably a private method that will help me to private private string to salt. Let's say here string str string, and I'm gonna say here return crypto to sync scribe sync. Yep. str salt 64. I'm gonna say here to string hex. There you go. I'm gonna say here in technician password is equals to this string to salt new technician. Yep, simpler. Yep. In that way I prevent meltdowns with this. A private method that helps to salt a string that can either be used or be saved in the schema as needed. The string to salt returns a salted string. Okay. So let's start by creating a new login page or a new registration page. So let's start by creating a new page, new file. I'm gonna say here registration. And the file is gonna be registration.tsx. And now we have to load this main code over here. So let me took something from here. I'm gonna take container and let's go into registration. Let's say here export const registration. Is just a nothing component. It's gonna return this return. Hello. Okay, so now let's go into our main page. No, what is my router? The app router comes here. So I'm gonna say here a route that says path or registration. Yeah, I'm gonna say here route. I'm gonna say path is gonna be tech register. I'm gonna say here element. What I'm gonna element, so I'm gonna say here registration. For the moment that what I'm gonna do is go into the main application, load the technical field code, technician field code. The technician field code is gonna be this, and I'm gonna write here. I don't have a code register. Now let's go back to our the field code, the code form. Now I'm gonna say here HR. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Actually, I should be doing a pop-up here rather than a route. Save some time. I'm gonna say here I'm gonna say here button class name button info. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, this is a. Oh, I have to be outside of this form label. This. What do I say here? This is gonna be outside of the form. Yeah. Oh, here. Oh man, I blew it up. Okay, here. You don't have a code. Okay. Why button info doesn't is button info? Why it is not creating the button what primary? Oh wait, what? That cannot be true. You are telling me that these 10 rules are black? Oh no, we have to. Uh, did something wrong with the theme? Oh, okay, so we have to configure the theme. Let's go Daisy UI. Let's go to Daisy UI again. The configurations, okay? Themes. Oh, Okay, so I may have to copy this. Excusez-moi. Because that is almost incorrect. And that's gonna force a full rebuild. Okay, so I may have to stop and let's see if it fixes the. Oh, expect. I don't know if it. I hope it doesn't break. Okay, still. So the configuration should be for the colors. Themes. Oh, okay. Primary. I wish they. Oh, I can use a color picker. That's nice. So how can I say this dark? Mm. Uh, how do I say this? Yeah, let me copy this. So this is the default one. Warning is gonna be like a. Let me go into the warning. It's gonna be like a more orange, and warning content is gonna be something like this. Yeah. Info content. Base content is gonna be black. Neutral. I'm gonna say here primary. Secondary is not gonna be red. It's gonna be more like a softer color. Yeah. And let's go over the lines of this one. As in, let's put it to be no an accent dark. Accent content is gonna be this one, yellow. As an info success warning error. Okay. Info content is gonna be according to the color. Success is a dark green. Warning and error is gonna be a dark red. Oh man, it's hard to read. Maybe black. And the error itself looks a bit too on top. Yeah, some easy to read. Yeah, this looks like a good set of colors. Oh, perfect. Exactly what I needed. Mm-hmm. Theme is. Oh, hold on. Just inside of themes. Format with Prettier. And let's save. But There you go. Uh, okay, let's see how this goes. Oh, I wanted a dark theme. Let me see which part of this changes. Oh, oh. So the base is gonna be the one that is tells me what is the background here. Yeah, base. So let's start to pick up the what I did. To pick up from very dark. So this one and this one. Oh, three. Yeah. So this three is gonna be fine. I hope it doesn't blow my code. Oh, great! I see nothing. Base content FFF. Oh, there you go. The base content has to be something of the likes of base content. Yeah. The base content should be this guy over here. Nice. Now I had to see what happened to my primary button here. Uh, button success. Oh, of course that doesn't exist. There you go. So when we click this, it's gonna open a pop-up, and that pop-up is gonna be the registration for the user. And I'm gonna say here, password. Oh, I figure out that I have a problem here. Flex draw. Oh no. Flex call. Technician password. Login. Okay, I'm gonna say here login here. And the placeholder for password is gonna be empty here. So we have code and password, you log in, pretty much. We give the user the capability, or if you don't have a code to use, create a profile. And let's do that. So question here is, should we generate a pop-up? Yeah. It generated a component for a pop-up. Oh yeah, this dialog. Okay. So I'm gonna use Let me copy this. I'm gonna say here, rename this to be uh, Technician reg form, and I'm gonna call this reg form. That is gonna be like this. Technician, we know this is a dialogue. Oh yeah, uh, I do nothing about this over here because it's just gonna display information. So there's gonna be a button that is gonna be calling this. I have nothing to do with this around here. And components start with capital. Okay, so if everything works fine, we should still be able to see something here. Oh, man, what's going on? Oh, Trump. I want to know anything about your world right now. Okay, let's go back. So I have the technician registration form, and the only thing I need to do is to embed this here inside of the registration. So I'm gonna say here, oh, not here. This registration is gonna be a pop-up. Okay, maybe I have to rethink this. Maybe this has to be living there. Mm-hmm. Now, let's see. So this definition reform can just go away. We don't need it. And our page registration. Oh, this is a page. This is a component. Oop, no. Yes. So now we have to do integration code. If you don't have this, I'm gonna say over here in a separate. Oh, this has to be a helmet. And what it says, this is indentation issue or what? Oh, this is not a useless fragment. Believe me. Registration. And this has to be, and this is gonna be weird because this is not a, this UI calls the DOM object. I'm gonna say here on click, I'm gonna say here a function that says document dot get element by ID. What was that? Uh, technician rec form. And I'm gonna check here in the usage of modal how it goes here. Modal, 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 modal. Modal, modal. Bleh. Yeah, if you want to open it with a button, show model. Show model. Ah, if it is not defined, fine. There you go. The pop-up is right there. Let me see. One moment. I just say close here. Mm, Forum dialog. This thing here. Now we have to go into our registration. Fix. Okay, so yeah, accept that. It's HTML dialog. Ah, okay. That looks more creative. So it is there. I'm gonna say here for dialog. Oh, oh no, why is so different? Uh, I like this one. There, I feel this guy over here. Okay. So in theory, this should work fine. Nice. Now we're gonna do is to generate the form to register and the action for to do that. And once we register, we set up something in the context of the set of the application that simulates that it is logged in. So let's do with that. Let's create a form for that. I'm just gonna save some time by creating the required code. And we had to create a hook because we had to we had to consume the backend. We had to check if there is a technician with a specific code already existing in the database. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to start to observe little by little. Now that I have most of the data connected, the most critical part was going to be the form. Uh-huh. This is legacy. This is the new one. Oh, hi, puppy. Oh, Makuya. Come here. Close the door, Papa. Yeah. Turn on time by time the aircon. I don't want to. My electricity bill is gonna be nuts next week. Let's see. Let's create. Mm-hmm. Go here. Mm, now let's bring the from the CUI. What are the forms? Data display. No, this is text input. Yeah, I saw something like this. Oh, uh, username and password. Okay, so mhm. Now let's see how this looks once I input this around here. Okay. I have to say a flex item here. Little flex gap 2. Oof. Oops. Flex call. There you go. I say here. First name. Last name. I'm gonna say here. Type password. And another repeat password. Okay, I probably just gonna skip it. I'm not gonna verify it. Like, pretty much why I had to verify a password. Do I need to verify a password? No. As far as you remember, it is fine. But this introduces an additional problem here, and is that I had to add error messages. Now, your your last name. I had to copy uh, technician code. no placeholder. Okay. I may have to probably just rethink how it looks. Yeah, let's change this. I don't like it how it looks. Let's look for every single label and let's kill it. Let's nuke this. Boom. Uh, and we're gonna leave this here for. Let's see how it looks. Okay. So in case there is an error, I'm gonna see it. Input. What is the input here? Ah, this is the max WXS that breaks most of my inputs. What? Is this container? Yeah. I can go over the UI. Label. Okay. So I'm gonna go to here first name. No, I'm gonna say here first name. First name, last name. I should create a UI component, but I just want to finish this up. You know what? I may have to create a specific component for this. I'm gonna say here, I'm gonna say here new file. UI form. I'm gonna say here input text. Mm-hmm. No. Export const input text. Gonna disclose whatever is needed later on here. I'm gonna say here label is params. Label is a string and value is any. Type is text or password. Mm, is valid. Is valid is a boolean. And I'm gonna say here string. Okay. So let's say here. Oh, I had to use a new package here. It's gonna be class names. It's something that allows me to manipulate the state of my classes inside of React. Uh, let's verify that I don't want to install a botch component. So I'm gonna say here npm class names. A simple utility for conditional. Yep. Yes. So I'm gonna say here npm I class names. Now I can import. Oh, import what? I'm gonna say here. Now I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna pass. Uh, hmm. No, so the input has has an error here. So I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna pass here. Class names. I'm gonna say here. I'm gonna pass input. I'm gonna pass input border. I'm gonna pass w4. Oh, oh, I'm passing a. Oh, no, I guess is. Oh, yes. So input w4. I'm gonna say here input error true. Let's see how it looks. Did I save that? Oh, if I had to bring this to the registration. Registration is gonna be input text, error message. I'm gonna say here error. I'm gonna say here is valid. It's gonna be false. But this is a boolean. I'm gonna say here label. I say here what is your technician code? I'm gonna say here type text. I'm gonna say here value nothing and the key no idea. Uh, well, I don't have key right now. Value is nothing right now. What is this with? Oh, I'm missing type. What am I missing? Huh? Oh, return this. My bad. So I have to do something with error. Uh, how was what he told me to use? Like apply text error. Oh, text error context. Oh, hold on. Is something I had to define here in the configuration. Hold on. What is my configuration? I'm gonna say here text error content to be this. Is this gonna take it? Because I don't know if it is gonna patch that. No, definitely isn't gonna patch that. No. I have to inspect it. You. What is this? Input error what? I guess I had to apply it. Yes. Something I had to learn how to do this. This is in this style. What is it here? Text. Input error. I'm gonna say here apply text error content. It could be either one or the other. There you go. Simple. What about text error content? Oh man. There you go. So if it is, oh, I had to do a callback to set the state because this is a state component. So okay. So I had to get ready. I had things to do. Okay, so that's for the stream of today. Hopefully tomorrow I finish most of the stuff. And it has been quite productive, to be honest. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you, Mateo, for passing by again. Thank you very much, and see you tomorrow. I hope so. Okay, bye.